Moving to Arizona from Chicago, something you're thinking about? Curious what it looks like? Well, today we're going to go over exactly what that process looks like and why I think you should do it. Hey, what is going on? It's me, Rich, back here with another episode of Arizona Life. Today we're talking about moving to Arizona from Chicago, what that process looks like, why I think you should do that, and some of the benefits, maybe pros, cons, differences, other than just the weather of what you experience when you get here after you leave the Windy City. Today we're talking about why people cannot drive. Today we're talking about moving to Arizona from Chicago. Now, I just got off the phone with a client who is making that move, had some questions, and there's so many people moving here from not just Illinois but from that Chicagoland, and it may not be what you're seeing, and you may have questions like, all right, how do I make this process happen? What's different? What will I miss? Well, I'm from Central Illinois. Again, that is not Chicago. It's not even close to the same things that you experience in Chicago. But my wife, she's a Chicagoland native. I was able to steal her away and bring her downstate. But there are some things that are obviously different other than the weather. But let's start with obviously the biggest one that everyone knows about: the weather in Arizona versus Chicago. Literally, I mean, it could not be on any more, couldn't be any more opposite. So Chicago, yeah, you have your warm summers, but Chicago in the winter is awful. I mean, it's awful. When we used to go down to State Street or go down, during Christmas time, we'd always hit up, I can't remember the name of the German Fest, but we go down there, and they would always be freezing cold. But I mean, that's expected. You're in Chicago in December, so I mean, that's what, I mean, it is what it is. So obviously when you come to Arizona, depending on when you move here, you may be in for a shock. 75-degree Christmas Day, pretty nice. Now, some people, they miss that cold, snowy Christmas morning. If you want that, head up to Flagstaff. Again, the heat here in the summer, definitely different than the heat in Chicago. But I will say, I know everyone says it, and it's redundant, but it is a dry heat. So 100 degrees in Arizona versus 100 degrees in Chicago is not even comparable. I will take that 100-degree Arizona day every day of the week. Now, the other day it was 111, and I did not even realize it was 111. Again, I'm not just hanging out outside, but it's I'll trade my 111 so I don't have to have those -5-degree days in Chicago. Now, again, I'm not from Chicago, from Central Illinois, but I've spent enough time in Chicago, especially my wife and I were dating and she still lived in the suburbs, that we've experienced enough Chicago life to make it feel like that. Home prices here in the Phoenix metro, and I'm in Gilbert, Chicagoland prices are rising too, and depending on what suburb we're at, I mean, they can vary greatly. But I would say the home prices here are pretty much on point with the home prices in Chicago. One of the biggest differences is you don't have the super high taxes that you'll have in your Chicago properties. Not just state tax, but I'm talking your property taxes. So $500,000 house here, I've said before, you're gonna pay way less in property taxes. And fuel here, I found it's gonna be cheaper than what you're paying in the city of Chicago. Obviously, in some of the suburbs, I've noticed the fuel charge is definitely higher than Central Illinois and downstate. But fuel price, it just depends on what's going on with the economy and how that affects where gas prices are. A lot of my clients, what they really love about moving to Arizona, getting to call Arizona home, is really how easy it is to get back to Chicago if they need to. Now, if you want to fly out of Mesa, you can take Allegiant, and I believe there's a flight that flies into Rockford if you like driving, which I don't know why you would, depending on if that's closer to you than flying into Midway or O'Hare. But now Southwest just opened up in O'Hare, so you can take Southwest out of the Phoenix airport and fly into Midway or O'Hare. So that's great. And Southwest flights, we love Southwest. So I have a business Southwest card, so we have so many points. You know, we would always fly into Midway before they opened up O'Hare. It's just easy, you know, low cost, especially if you're doing it frequently. So some of the reasons my clients have decided to move from Chicago to Arizona are, you know, I would say they're personal for each person, obviously, but a lot of them, they have a lot of things in common. So it's the weather, it's the taxes, it is almost that feeling of being on vacation. You know, with so many people vacationing here, why wouldn't you want to call a place that people vacation to home? The crime here is, I mean, I've never felt safer. Obviously, you can find bad parts in almost any town. I don't really feel like I feel that in Gilbert and a lot of the other suburbs of Phoenix. You know, I think I've already mentioned taxes, but I mean, that's a huge one, taxes. The roads here are in really good condition. So you don't have, you know, that issue of the roads and the, you know, the wear and tear of your car. You know, the heat obviously will beat up your car. I mean, we decorate our highways with rocks. So you are gonna pay a little bit more for your auto insurance based on, you know, that windshield repair. You know, figure on replacing 2 windshields a year based on rock chips. But all in all, it's a price worth paying. I will say, when you get your license plates here, you know, it's based on the age of your car. So for my truck, it's older. I think I paid like $100. My wife's car is newer. Hers was $400. So hopefully, for my Illinois resident friends, Illinois doesn't catch on to that and start charging more and more based on, you know, how expensive, how new your vehicle is. Now, I'm not one to get into politics, but politics does matter. So Illinois being, you know, such heavily ran by Democrats, a lot of my friends, even Democrat friends, have, you know, had enough of it, had enough with all the taxes, the fees, you know, the sinking ship feeling, that they wanted to come to Arizona. Again, I'm not a super political guy, but, you know, they prefer the way things are ran with a, you know, Republican governor, and not having, you know, I guess the government's hand involved in so many things. Again, not saying politics control your life, but, you know, it does matter to some people of, you know, what their government is handling within, you know, each person's own business. So if you're, depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming from the city or, you know, what suburb you're coming from, you know, you're used to the high traffic, you know, on 294 and 55. You know, you're used to that. That's the norm, the Dan Ryan, all of that stuff. You're used to it. But you also know there's times where it isn't as bad. You know, if you're used to Chicago traffic, you know, the Phoenix traffic is not going to be anything shocking to you. It's, you know, just time your commute wisely and give yourself some extra time, because I don't know what it is, and I've mentioned this before, but people cannot drive here. I thought it was, when people were telling me before we came here about, you know, the bad drivers, I thought they were crazy, just, you know, blowing out of proportion, but I see what they're talking about. There's accidents all over the place, and you see people just, you know, not paying attention, drifting in and out of lanes, pulling out in front of people. It's crazy. So a lot of my friends back in Chicago, you know, they're always big on the food and the pizza, and, you know, so many of the great eateries and restaurants in the Chicago area. And there are, you know, there's a lot of places that we miss when we would travel back to my in-laws, but thankfully we still got to go back there. But places that we would go more frequently that, you know, they don't have out here. But there's so many good Southwest places, Mexican places, steak houses. We found some really good sushi restaurants. The food here has not let us down. But, you know, just know that, yeah, it's going to be different. And, you know, Chicago is not home anymore. This is your home now. And when you start thinking of it like that, I think that really helps you get adjusted and plan for, hey, this is where I'm going to spend my life, and you're not so much comparing it to where you came from. I hope you don't mind these videos where I'm, you know, camera's mounted and I'm driving along. Just rest assured, I cannot see the screen. I'm not distracted. But if you would rather see some videos with some B-roll shots or some other footage, or me standing somewhere else, let me know. If you don't want to just stare at my my mug while I'm cruising around the Phoenix metro area. as I am driving, I love looking at the palm trees, the cactus, that Southwest decor. It's something, and I don't know if this feeling will go away once I've lived here for, 10 plus years, but I love seeing it. And that's something like Chicago and in Illinois in general, you really don't have that great landscape feel. Now, I do love, in July when you're cruising by, corn at sunset, like I love that in the fields and the lakes. I mean, I do miss that. But here, depending on where you're at, I mean, you see mountains and cactus, palm trees, awesome decor, awesome yards. Even if they don't have grass, the turf looks good, and you don't have to mow it. When you're moving here from Chicago, a lot of people, with our market, they're like, should I buy? Should I rent? I mean, obviously that's up to you. The good thing is flights are relatively inexpensive, and it's so easy now just to hop on, like I said, Southwest, get here, come look at a property. I've been doing virtual tours for clients, and they've been buying sight unseen. I also have the ability to help them with rentals if they'd rather, try out an area before they fully commit. But with homes expecting to continue to appreciate, a lot of my clients don't want to take that risk and then want to buy later and then have that price even higher and interest rates trickling up. So again, it's up to you. Whatever your decision is, if you want to buy or rent, I'm happy to help either way, whatever fits your situation. I will never, pressure someone into buying or selling, or buying or renting. Whatever fits for you guys, I'm happy to help there. So it's funny, as I'm shooting this video, I'm driving by an old Chicago pizza. So there, you can go get your Chicago pizza at Old Chicago. I'm sure it's exactly the same as Bert's. And if you know what Bert's Pizza is, that's one of the best. Right now, I am entering Gilbert, so we're in Gilbert, then we're going through parts of Chandler, now back in Gilbert. If you watch any of my videos, I'm partial to Gilbert. We love Gilbert, but again, wherever it is you left and what it is you're looking for, there are a lot of different options depending on the community you choose. From the East Valley to the West Valley, if you want to live in Phoenix, live downtown. I think that's one of our big draws here is you're not confined to a certain style, certain neighborhood. Whatever fits your lifestyle and what it is you're looking for, it's accessible here. So when it comes to the actual move of making that jump from Chicago to Arizona, a lot of different ways you can do it. You can just sell everything, drive yourself out and call it good. I know people who have rented, movers, a big semi truck. When we did it, we had a pod and then we pulled a trailer twice. So we drove out here once, flew home, left my truck here, and then drove out with my wife's car and a trailer. But yeah, whatever it is you're looking to do, it's just take it one day at a time. Understand that moving is never super fun, but it is worth it once you get here, and especially when January rolls around and you're enjoying a sunset, looking at the mountains in shorts. And another thing I like is with the time difference, is football starts so much earlier here. Where before I had to wait until noon for a Bears game. If it's before the time change, Arizona we don't change our clocks, but Illinois, I can get you an hour, 2 hours earlier. So that's always a plus. The sooner I can watch the Bears lose, which is, maybe this will be their year, but it is pretty cool to be able to watch it earlier than later. With so many people, not just Chicago, but fleeing Illinois in general, they're looking for places that are tax friendly, that fit their lifestyle, and sadly, like, Illinois is not that place anymore. Even though a lot of us are born and raised, like our roots are there, a lot of us have just had enough of it. It's like, all right, well, what else is there? What other states fit what I'm looking for that are tax friendly, business friendly, retirement friendly? And for us, that's Arizona. And a lot of my clients, again, why they're relocating here, a lot of my clients are transplants, and it's the same reason. Again, we're all different, but a lot of us have that same core reasons for coming here, and it's that reason. It's opportunity, it is the weather, it is just the location itself, being so close to the Southwest, to Mexico, to Vegas, to San Diego. You know, you have the airport right there. Again, it's only a 3-hour flight back to Chicago for if you need to go home and visit. But I still have my business in Illinois, and I need to go back and forth as needed. But it really, you know, the day and age we live in, it's technology has taken, you know, the forefront on so much. But again, it's a 3-hour flight. So when family got upset that we were leaving, I was like, it's a 3-hour flight. It's not the end of the world. You know, right now it's 2021, so it should not. I would not let it, I guess, dissuade me from making that move. So one thing, you know, if you're coming from the suburb of Chicago, you know how you can, you know, be traveling on the same 2-lane road or whatever it is, and you know you're in Morton Grove or you're in Glenview, and you're just like town after town. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize I went through 3 towns, and it took me forever. You know, Arizona's a little bit different, where everything is so spread out from the East Valley to the West Valley. So it might take, you know, from Gilbert to Peoria, you know, like an hour or so. Peoria, Arizona, that is. Which I felt, you know, in the Chicago area, everything was just much more compact and dense, where here it's just more spread out. Which, depending on what it is you're looking for, if you want to be surrounded by people, then maybe you won't like that. But I don't mind it. I don't mind driving either, just because I do love the area so much. And for the most part, everything is a pretty easy drive, just depending again on traffic. So to recap, you know, moving to Arizona from Chicago. Why? The weather, the economy, the taxes, the location, not just the weather, but the location. It's just, it is almost rejuvenating. Just, it's a great place to call home. I've never lived in a place where people are more excited or more proud to call home than here in Arizona. You know, we loved where we lived when we were in Illinois, but it felt like so many people just were tired of it, but never did anything. So we didn't want to be one of those people that never did anything. But yeah, here in Arizona, people love it here. People truly appreciate the area they live in, and maybe that's why it's so well cared for. But I think you'll recognize that when you do move here, is how proud people are of their state. And right now, just I'm driving on this road, I mean, the median is, you know, it's decorated nicely. There's agave plants, flowering plants, everything it just looks nice. It looks, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a good looking place to live. But moving to Arizona is definitely worth it. So if you have any questions, please reach out. My information is in the description. Send me a call, a text, an email. Comment below on if there's other videos you want to see topics on. You know, hit me up. I'm happy to help in any way I can. This is Rich with Arizona Life and eXp Realty. I'll see you next time.